Hi, team. I'm Fitz, your very noisy race announcer, and welcome to the Donna Show. We had an absolutely incredible weekend, and we're so excited to gush about it today. So, while you may have heard my voice the most this weekend, I'm really just a small part of what this organization and this experience is about. So, I'm going to bring in the team that works tirelessly day in, day out throughout the year to make everything happen, from the races to the fundraising efforts to the entertainment, everything. So I'm going to start with our race director, Queen Bee, Miss Amanda Napolitano. Welcome.
Thank you, Fitz. Thanks for having me once again.
I am so excited. And we just talked prior to showtime about waking up with bloated red face.
Yes. You don't have a voice.
Yeah, it drops a couple octaves after a race weekend. I sound like a little like a guy, right?
Yeah, the redness of just my cheeks hurt from smiling is really the issue.
That's like the greatest problem to have ever, right?
It is indeed. Wonderfully exhausted today.
Oh, well, we're so grateful you are. It was worth it. And then the reason we're here is to raise funds, and we've got the king of fundraising, Mr. Chaz Runfola. Hey, Chaz.
Hey, everyone. Thanks, Fitz. Hey, Amanda.
Did you have fun this weekend, Chaz?
I had a blast, and it was so awesome seeing everyone come together and also seeing everyone cross the finish line, but also seeing them start and walk and run right across the starting line, kicking us off was amazing.
It's the whole process, isn't it?
Yes.
Every minute counts. So I don't want you to spill the beans yet. I don't even know what all the beans are, but we're going to talk about fundraising and all we've accomplished soon. And then also, you may notice there's an empty box here. Apparently, Donna Deegan says she's got the spinning Wi-Fi wheel of death going on right now, and she's trying desperately to get on with us. So, Donna, if you're watching, try on your phone. It's okay. We'll take you however we can get you. And some of our Smarty Pants friends are logging in right now. I get first boost. Hey, Andrea, thank you so much. My energy comes purely from you guys. I am wired. I'm fueled by runners. So thank you for bringing the fun. Dave Scott says hi. Hi, Dave. He's one of my buddies. Meredith Chambers, hello, sweet pea. She's one of our ambassadors. Lorraine, the whole weekend was amazing. Shakeout to after party. That's right. Beth Kent follows me around the country, and I'm glad she does. We got Babs. This is a great story. We got to talk about Babs today. So, let's start with the shakeout run. Amanda, tell us about that Friday morning. That's how we kicked everything off.
We did. We kicked everything off. We did a beautiful 80-degree Florida, sunshine shakeout run on Friday morning. Jeff Galloway was there. Of course, Donna was there. I was there. The D Squad they were our host, and Babs was there along with Mercedes and just so many of our wonderful D Squad ambassador team from Southern Grounds. And it just was a lovely way to kick off the weekend. Kind of that first moment of realizing that we're all back together again, and so many hugs and tears and cheers and thank you to all of you who took the time to come out. I know you had fun, but we were very touched by. It was a great turnout.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I'm the newcomer, and first exposure to the Donna. Pretty spectacular. Now, I know the numbers are down this year, this race, like they are. And basically, even Boston Marathon had half the amount of runners this year. So
right,
everybody's down, but quality over quantity. And if that's our gauge,
off the charts.
That's right.
Off the charts.
All right. So, it's so funny. So Beth says, where was I at? 80 degrees. So this is the problem. Like Thursday, when I was getting packed here in Gainesville, I packed shorts because it was 80 degrees. And then I show up in Jacksonville, and like old man winter decides to show up. It was chilly, right?
A little chilly, a little breezy.
A little chilly. Oh no, Katisha got her flight canceled. She looks very huggable as well. So
I'm sorry, Katisha. I hope you'll be able to run virtually. You have to the end of February to run Donna anyway, and then we'll see you back in 23.
And we still have people can still register for the virtual, correct? Until you run out of gear.
Correct. So we're giving, all of Donna virtual events are open and will remain open through the end of February. And so between now and then, you can register, you can log your miles, you can submit your time. And then the early part of March, we will announce our virtual champions and do some awards once again. So
that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I would do virtual slowest or something like that. That would be my champion. But I'm going to stop the presses because she's here. She's the spinning wheel of Wi-Fi doom, Donna Deegan.
Hi guys, sorry about that.
Hey, Donna.
It's been all day. My computer it's like fallen asleep, so I'm not sure what the deal is. How are y'all?
We're great. We were just talking about our fluffy faces and windburned wake-up call this morning. How did you look this morning?
Well, I basically look how I look right now with a little makeup on. We got all the puffies all over everything, and yeah, I look like a frog. Basically, that's always post marathon day for me. So,
absolutely. And so, what are your thoughts? I mean, overall, we're going to get into the nitty gritty, but how did you feel about this weekend?
Oh gosh, this will go down as one of my favorite weekends. In 15 years, I think probably it had a lot to do with being post-COVID and everybody, or I shouldn't even say post-COVID, but just being after not being together for 2 years. I don't know. It felt like to me the emotion was a lot more pronounced this year than it has been in a while. Like everybody just had this big release that they needed to have, and a lot of people took the opportunity to have it, and I felt that. Mm-hmm. I felt that. I loved the new venue. I thought it was great. I really loved everything about it aside from the wind and the rain. But even that, added to the lore of the weekend. It'll be another story we can tell,
Yeah. And I think some of that stuff just like amplifies the goodness of the experience, because for what other reason would thousands of people go stand out in the icy cold breezes with rain in our face other than like the most awesome opportunity on planet Earth, Yeah,
I agree. No, I agree with that. I think it absolutely amplifies all of it. I think it's one of those things. It's like I said to one of the reporters, that asked about, I always talk about what a metaphor the marathon is for going through something difficult like cancer, but it's the hard that makes it so great. I mean, that's really what you want to put yourself through out there. It's why we love marathoning. It's why we love distance. It's hard. And going through cancer is hard. I don't know. I think it's one of those things that makes us feel alive for sure. And we need to feel that.
So I'm with you with my little mantra when I was going through treatment and I didn't even know I was doing it, but I found myself every time I went through another scary experience, an MRI, and the port and the this and the that, I started coaching myself. I started thinking, you know what? You used to be a competitive kickboxer. You've built a great business. You've run a bunch of races. You can do hard things. And that's actually the big old mantra right there is, and then really when you do things that aren't hard, you don't remember those. You don't call anyone to tell you, hey, I just took out the trash. I mean, it's only really worth it sometimes, worth the glory and the bling if it's hard. So bravo, you brought in Old Man Winter to make your race even more exciting, right?
There you go. But I'm going to say that I told you when we talked in the pre-show that I said, whatever the forecast says, just remember that I have angels, right? Mm-hmm. And look, we did not have the day-long downpour that a lot of people were predicting, right? We had with all due respect to my wonderful husband, who always tries to give us the best possible case scenario, right? I think all things considered, that win was tough, but for me, the conditions were wonderful. I mean, I love running in that cold, misty stuff. It takes all the stress off the body, really. I mean, the wind was a little stressful, but I was actually very pleased considering what the forecast was.
Saturday was gorgeous. I mean,
It
really,
was.
it was
And
really
Friday.
chilly, right? And Friday, of course, felt like summer. Everybody in from out of town went to the beach. But the sun came out on Saturday during, the 5K and the 15K relay, and especially the Donna Dash. Those kids just were basking in the sunshine. And, on Sunday, I literally packed 3 changes of clothes because I thought I would be standing in absolutely downpours all day long. And I never had to change my clothes. I mean, I heard that there were a few pockets of decent rain along the course, but in the heart of things, in the Seawalk Pavilion, in the start finish line, I mean, we had some mist, but we never had any sort of deluge of water.
Wow.
So yeah, I was.
Can I show the picture?
Thank you, Susan.
Right. Can I show you the picture that you sent me from earlier? Can anybody see that? You probably can't see it.
Yes. Tilt it down.
Tilt it like this. Oh, there we go. Can you see that? Can you see the smile on my face?
Yeah.
That was Saturday. I was standing there. If that's not a joyful picture, I don't know what is. Amanda sent me that. She said, are you having fun or what? I mean, I was just like, Saturday was an amazing day. I love seeing all the kids. And there were so many people that really loved that 15K relay.
Mm-hmm.
So Saturday was a really fun day too. And yeah, the weather wasn't bad at all on Saturday. So I thought the whole weekend was just fabulous and wonderful.
I think Saturday for me too.
So anything interesting happened at the expo for you guys? This was a new venue for you, right?
It was. This is the first time that we've held our health and wellness expo, at the fairgrounds, right? I loved that venue. I thought that it was wonderfully conducive to, having lots of support for our Saturday events. I loved this is something that Tiffany Davis, our event director, came up with this year. We've always had kind of our signature boards in our expo where you sign tributes to friends and family and loved ones. And they always, they have our inspiration words on them: love, hope, endurance, perseverance, and Tiffany had an amazing idea this year to turn those into our actual mile markers. And so for those of you that were in the expo, if you remember, that there was a whole wall of signboards, 1 through 26, with those words on them. And they were a blank sheet of paper when I got there on Thursday to load in, right? To get everything organized and everything, just totally blank sheets of paper. And when I left on Saturday afternoon, after we closed the expo, there were thousands of tributes written on those things. And I'm thinking to myself, how powerful is that?
Yeah.
Every single signature on those boards is a story, a tribute, a love note that then people knew where they were, or, where they would be out on the course on Sunday of, heck, it could have been an encouraging word to yourself. Like you can do this, at mile 20 or whatever it was. But I don't know, that to me for the expo just really touched me every time I walked by those boards and watched them fill up through the weekend.
Brilliant idea. I got to tell you that I saw the mile markers in there, but I didn't even know they were signable. That's such a smart idea. And I've never seen it at any other race. So
yeah,
innovation points for you.
Yeah. Points for Tiff. Good job, Tiff.
Yes. Good job, Tiffany. Yeah, we've had those signboards for a long time, but this is the first time they've been our mile markers. So we've had those people love to sign those things, and I always get so much inspiration reading them, along the way. So
I think for me, for the expo on Friday and Saturday, it was really the magic of seeing people for the first time in 2 years. That was the first time some of us even met in person, that some of our D Squad members even met each other. And we've been seeing a lot of faces on Zoom calls. We've been seeing a lot of faces or comments on social media from our runners, our volunteers, our board members. But seeing people meet for the first time and the hugs that happened, that was what got me. And that was just down the way from the mile markers. So it was a really cool space.
Super, super sweet. You have an incredible crew, that people to come out with such, they're just they're gushy, right?
Mhm.
That's a great word.
I don't know, but I liked it. I liked it very well. And, you know, I was a new kid in town this weekend and everyone was so warm and wonderful. So I really appreciated that. All right. Is it okay if I jump to Saturday morning? Because I have a little video showcase.
Yes.
Short
Go
one. And I
for it.
can't wait for everyone to see Sunday's video because it's really, really special. But we're going to start with Saturday, sorry. And off we go.
Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah.
All right. So little peek at the 5K.
Oh my God.
Okay.
That was amazing. I guess I didn't
loved
need to
it.
do my little picture, did I? I didn't need to try to hold it
No,
up.
we must have had a really fun time.
Yeah, she totally did.
Well, you know what I got to say, Fitz, you were a big part of that too. In fact, the whole weekend, it was so cool because, you know, a lot of times I wait and try to pick out survivors at the finish line, but the fact that you call them out and make sure that they're all recognized and made to feel special. Every one of those, we all have a story we bring to this experience, and to be able to see those stories brought out and called out, and to see those people's faces, you know, just when they tell their stories, everybody wants their story to be told, right?
Mhm.
And so to be able to see that happen makes me a little bit klimped just talking about it now. I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I love our athletes. I mean, I love all of my athletes, but this cause, oh Lord, we're gonna have a sorry if anybody's having a seizure.
Oh, you're blinking lights.
Not touching that ever again. Yeah, I mean, I was hunting for them because that's the reason, right? That's our purpose, and yeah, we get it. We know what they've been through, and it means a lot. And so, thanks for giving me the opportunity to pour a little love on those who've walked that path, right?
That was for sure. That was great. So great. I'm sure that was part of the love and snug. What did you call it? What, the gushiness?
The gushy.
Yes, snuggles.
The gushy.
Hands-on announcing. So we had the 5K, and the 15K was part of our anniversary celebration. Have you done that 15K before, or was this a first time?
No, that was a first time. You know, and sort of an anniversary. You know, a nod to the 15, right? So we've done relays before. We traditionally have a marathon relay, but we have a general rule that when we change the marathon course, we don't like to put the relay down on it in the first year, so that we can kind of get the kinks worked out and make sure that everything's flowing well before we add exchange zones and coordination of all of that. So the relay teams joined us on Saturday. I think they had a fabulous time. I know FIS, our presenting sponsor, they had, you know, I don't know, like 40 teams out there participating, and, you know, and much like all of us, you know, they've been, you know, working from home a good bit and just now getting back into the office. And so having that team building opportunity to build teams and race together, I think was really special for them. They're celebrating so many wonderful people and survivors, and remembering a very special person that they lost over the last year to breast cancer. You know, just such, you know, to Donna's point, meaningful stories by the moment, including our winners of that event. I mean, so Andy Murillo, he serves on our board. His son Andrew won the 5K.
Wow.
So that was cool, right? You know, sort of like the family member that breaks the tape. I think it's his second race that he's won. So we've got quite the budding little superstar coming along in the family that we're super proud of. And in the video, the kid that broke the tape in the dash, he ran like a 6-minute mile for the dash. Do you remember him? That's
Yeah.
Lindsay. That's Lindsay Hines' son. So in the series of photos that you saw, there was this mom like standing behind the child, going, "Ah!" That was Lindsay, freaking out that her son, is capable of racing that, putting down that kind of mile.
Now, am I right that Lindsay and you, Donna, host a podcast called "I'll Have Another"?
No, that's Lindsay's podcast. She's had both Amanda and I on that podcast in the past, but that's all hers. She has a fantastic podcast that has a great following and just another fantastic, amazing runner and human.
Yeah, she's great. I met her in the hotel, just loitering in the lobby, and she was fantastic. She was fantastic. And I've left this guy's comment up, Nick Bowles, because he came in from England specifically to be a part of this relay. And then he also ran the next day. I can't remember, Nick, if he did the half or the full, but he is a booby trap guy.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I knew we had a bunch of states represented, but someone told me, "Hey, we got a guy from England here for the 15K." And then there he was. I heard the voice, and I knew it was him. And Nick, we're so happy you joined us. And
Thanks, Nick. Wow, that's fantastic.
He's been so excited about coming. I think I'm friends with him on Facebook and or in a group with him. I mean, you know how we've got all of these things. But he's been so stoked about coming. So I'm so glad he got to come. Nick, we were so happy that you came and joined us. It's awesome.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun. And then we met Marion Merler. I'm probably saying that weirdly, but Merler from Germany. And she came in as well. She was making a trip to the States, and she thought, I'm going to head over to Florida just to run the Donna. So that, and so many Canadians.
We always have a lot of Canadians. Yeah, we always have a lot of Canadians. And you know what? They're always they leave so many positive, wonderful comments. It's fantastic. I mean, I that's one of the things I love so much about having people from all over the world come to Jacksonville, because, a lot of people, when they think of Florida, don't necessarily think Jacksonville, right? And I just think it's the best, and people just, when they come in and they run, right next to our beautiful ocean, and they just, they're so impressed. And so we get a whole lot of folks that come down from up north that have discovered that we really are the best part of Florida.
Yeah, it's very special. And I've been there many times before, but when I was there over the weekend, just checking it out, thinking, why don't I come here more often? I'm going to.
Well, you should remedy that. Yes.
I am. Sign me back up.
At least once a year, the first Sunday in February. Mark it, in Sharpie pencil on your calendar for the foreseeable future, please.
In permanent Sharpie pencil. That would be better.
Full blown Sharpie, whether you like it or not. I'm going to just show up.
Here I am.
If I'm not invited, I'm bringing my own little boombox and a microphone. I'm here.
Well, you'll be in good company, because I'm told there were many of those throughout the course.
Oh
on
my
Sunday.
gosh, there were.
Well, are we ready to go to Sunday? Or is there anything you want to add? I'd like to point out that I thought the Donna Dash was fabulous. I loved how the parents ran with the kids, and just wholesome goodness across the board.
Kids are the best, man. They're so cool to watch kids, because they're just like, I said this on social media, they're just so in the moment, they're just all arms and legs flying. They're running 100 miles an hour and they stop. They run 100 miles an hour and they stop, and they throw their arms in the air when they get to the finish line. I mean, they're just, I love watching kids run. It's the best.
Yeah, it's a really, really special thing.
Do y'all remember the survivor that ran with her kids for the Donna Dash? And I know she's a survivor because, Fitz, you talked to her, and I want to say that she was maybe 5 years cancer-free, if my memory serves. And I remember you sharing her story sort of at the start of it. And then I remember her
that's Julia Crowley
running in and like picking up her children and swinging them around. And I thought to myself, wow, that little girl must be probably 7. And I'm guessing. But it made me think to myself, she went through breast cancer treatment when that little girl was a toddler, and how important, it is to celebrate. I mean, how emotional that must be for her, you know, to be celebrating survivorship with her kids, you know, with the Donna Dash, and just being so glad to be here on earth and to raise her kids. I mean, that's what it's all about. I think that was my one social media post on Saturday, actually. Was, I don't think it was her child, but one of the kids at the Donna Dash had a "Why I'm running" back bib, and it said "I'm running for my mommy."
Yeah.
And I thought that's it, you know, that's it, y'all.
Yeah, good stuff.
So Donna, I have a question for you. Since you're 15 years and I'm only like a year and a half out of treatment, I still have those thoughts when I see my kids do something special, like, oh, thank goodness I'm here. You know, there's a lot of times where I am still, I don't, maybe it's because it's fresh, but does that wear off, or are you still thinking you're lucky stars that you're here?
When I tell you that I wake up every day with gratitude, that is not in one way, in one even little bit, an exaggeration. I think, remember, I've been through this rodeo 3 times, and the third time, really, there's no great explanation for why I'm here and everything's good. But I cannot tell you how much, every time I see my children, every time I think about my children, every experience that I have in life, I just see through that lens now. And I always say that I so wish that people who have never been through cancer could have the opportunity to view their lives through that lens, because I think if everybody had that view of, I have this day and I'm so excited that I have this day, but I don't know if I'm going to have the next day. So I better really live this day. And then be really grateful for everything. I mean, you know, we don't always stay in that space 24/7. Obviously we're human beings,
Yeah.
but I will tell you that part of it has never worn off for me. And if I ever have a day that's challenging and just, you know, I can get frustrated, I'm able to bring myself back to that place really quickly. And I'm so grateful for that, because I used to be that person that's, you talk about sweating the small stuff. I mean, everything. That's just not me anymore.
Well, good.
Yeah. So no, you don't have to worry about that, Fitz. I think I sort of get the idea you're sort of like that too. So I don't think you're going to worry about not appreciating life.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's appreciation and not being melodramatic, but I still do think like, oh, thank God I'm here, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you're right. I think everybody should think that, you know, we could all walk in front of a bus any day. So that's not okay. I am like super proud. And Amanda gave me some content from our guru photographers, and I put together a video I think is really fun. Are you ready to see our Sunday video?
I'm ready.
So ready.
Yeah. Okay. I hope it's good. And if not, I'm blaming someone else. That's not me. But here we go. We got about 2 minutes of viewing pleasure. I bring to you Sunday.
That was fantastic.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
I could watch that over and over.
Right.
Just on loop, on loop for days on end.
You know what? It's yours. I'm going to send it to you.
Thank you.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. You know what? That's why the weather amplifies the success, right? Is because all of the joy, despite the cold, all of the joy, despite the wind and the rain, it just, where else do you get that?
It's magic.
Nowhere else. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's the magic of the marathon too. It just is, the magic of the whole thing. It's just, there's something about distance. I don't know what it is. It lets you float, lets you sort of get into your own, or maybe get out of your own head, but it amplifies everything, just sort of lays you bare out there. And I think you're right. I think the weather just really amplified all of it.
Absolutely. Made the hugs feel a little bit better as well. I copped some snuggles from strangers as frequently as I could. So let's go to the morning. I thought the morning, actually, when I looked around, I thought this is pretty good running weather, and people were in great spirits as they showed up. They were dressed in their best garbage bags, runner chic, and had smiles on their faces.
Yeah, I love this. What bad weather. Great day. It's exactly how I feel. I felt like it was a great day.
Oh, and here's a little trivia for you. Kelly Prevette, she showed up wearing an outfit she actually made her running pants and her
Wow. Impressive.
Very.
Very impressive. She looked fantastic. But I thought that was really cool. And it was great. I love that we celebrated your founders. There's you and Jeff, Dr. Perez, and who's the fourth?
That's it.
That's the trifecta.
Pretty special stuff. We had your great sponsors come out. Were your sponsors on property on Sunday?
A lot of them were, yes. You got to meet Ed, right? So Gilead Oncology, the presenting sponsor of our start finish area, and our friend Ed was there, and
Twyford?
Yes. We practiced that, Ed.
So one of these for Ed.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to do this because you did that. I don't know if you heard, Fitz, the story from Mayor Hoffman. Remember when we introduced Christine Hoffman from Jacksonville Beach? She's the Jacksonville Beach mayor. Her mother died from metastatic breast cancer. A nurse that crossed the finish line and had heard her story went up to her and said, "I want you to know that your mother delivered my baby." And they had a great conversation about the fact that she knew Christine's mother and that she had played such an important role in her life. These are the ways that all these things bring people together. And it's just, that was so meaningful to her, right? To hear that story. So I don't know, loved it. Loved some of these great stories from the day.
If it wasn't for you guys in your race, and if it wasn't for her showing up, getting out of bed in the morning, she wouldn't have had that wonderfulness.
That's right.
It's a good lesson to get up.
I think too, from a sponsorship perspective, thinking about those that are there for us so that we can have this event. We have Genentech, who's been with us since the very beginning. So we know that some of them were there with us in person, and some, were there with us from a virtual standpoint. But without them, and without our 25 to 30 sponsors for the weekend, that's a lot. That's saying a lot during a time where companies are going through changes with everything that's happening in the world. We still had the support from, Genentech, FIS, Black Knight, Baptist Health. We had a whole bunch of them that came out. Amanda, you mentioned Gilead. And what people don't know is the several months of conversations that go into this with the sponsors, because they're invested. They don't want to just write a check and here's this money. They want to know how they can show up, how they can put a tent up, how they can bring their teams and activate in person, how they can race virtually or come out on the course and lace up with us. So many of these people were there. And I know many of them will be running virtually this month. And it means the world to me that they're there for us year over year. So a big thank you from me and the team to all of our amazing sponsors.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we gotta, as I always say, we wouldn't make it to the start line without them. But, we got some amazing pictures and videos from some of them who couldn't come, just because of the COVID situation. And some of them that couldn't come because their flights got canceled because of all the weather on the East Coast. But they sent us pictures and videos of them completing their virtuals anyway, and also just saying how much they missed being with us in person. So I'm very hopeful that next year everybody will be able to get back down. We did have a lot of our wonderful in-person things that we didn't do this year, and I'm really looking forward to doing that again next year.
That's awesome. And for anyone watching, if you love this and you want to be a bigger part of this, and you either work for a company or you own a company, reach out to Chaz. Say, how do I get on board? Because there's always an opportunity to bring in new business partners.
Yep. And you really do become part of the family pretty quickly. And
people will always associate your organization with all that joy and love and happiness and good stuff that comes out of the weekend. I mean, that's the great give back, in addition to all the things that our sponsors do for us. I think the reason that so many of them keep coming back is because they really do get so much love out of the whole relationship. It's just, you saw it. That's people do appreciate the sponsors that come in and support the event.
Yep.
All right. I don't know what this means, Dave Scott. Do you guys know what?
Yes, we do.
Oh, yes.
Chaz, this is up your alley.
Right.
Tell everybody what our monthly giving society is.
And I have to give props to David Scott for bringing this up, because it really does help support our patients and the families we serve. We have the Donna Monthly Giving Society. You can join for as little as $19 a month, and you really do support and lift up the care line. And we talked a little bit about the care line over the weekend and a little bit on our last live session, but it's really there to help lift up the families and help them through the financial hardships or to provide them with financial assistance when they need it the most. And so we lean on the monthly donors to provide us with that consistent revenue stream so the families consistently have the help that they need. And when you are a part of the 1912 Society, we've now been calling it the Donna Monthly Giving Society, you do get some perks. You get to have a little bit of a race registration discount across all three of our events, not just Donna Marathon Weekend, year over year. If you want to join, visit the donnafoundation.org. We have a support page. It's pretty easy to get to it. But the families really lean on that because they let us know how much our donors support the care line. What your gift does for them is just priceless. I know it's $19 a month or more, but to the family, it's priceless because you're helping them put food on the table or navigate a challenging time. And we all know how breast cancer diagnoses go. So it really does help. So thank you, David, for bringing that up for us.
Thank you, David. David's got some good stuff going on. And Lorraine adds to that, great perks and great reminder to pray for the families each month.
Oh, that's such a great point. Yep.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about fundraising. Chaz, when we sat down on Friday and I was fishing around for information, you told me that the goal was to get past the $200,000 raised mark this weekend. How did that go?
I know we've been talking for the last several minutes about the weekend, but I've been so excited for this topic because we're less than $100 away from the $200,000 mark.
Right now.
So somebody can go online and give. I will hit refresh. Then Fitz, we will just pretend like it's still Sunday because I know we're all still living in that love anyway. And we will bask in that goal, that milestone together. I know that with the Weaver Challenge, it's a $300,000 goal. We will qualify for a $50,000 matching gift from the Weaver Family Foundation. Look at how many families we can help with $50,000. So what we did was we set a...
Wait. So if we get $100 now, then that means $50,000 extra dollars from the Weavers?
Almost. For the weekend, we wanted to cross the $200,000.
You just got it, Beth Kent to the rescue.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Beth.
However, everyone's welcome to get up and go vote. Go contribute right now. $5, $10, $12, $1,000, whatever you want.
That's amazing. And The Weaver Challenge is 300,000, and we have through the another month or so to work on that. But we wanted to cross the $200,000 milestone over marathon weekend. I say we just grandfathered that in and did it. So I just say if this is an extension of the weekend.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much for that contribution.
Yes, thank you so much.
And they can go donate at breastcancermarathon.com, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, there's a giant fundraise button on the homepage, and you can go there and you can raise money or contribute money. Either way.
Well, and I'm just going to point out, just because both Dr. Perez and I have personal fundraising pages too. We both have thrown out a $5,000 matching contribution, up to $5,000 for each of us. So if you want to go onto my Facebook page and contribute onto my fundraising link, that would just mean more money to the foundation. And since Dr. Perez is not here to pump hers, I'd like to beat her. So go on and do that. That'd be fantastic. It's for me, just so you know, I'm celebrating 15 years cancer-free this year. I actually posted a picture of myself crossing the finish line in 2008 and then crossing the finish line in 2022. And the wild thing is, that was literally my third diagnosis came like 4 months before that inaugural race. And so I was done with my surgery in the middle of chemo, and the joy and love on that course is what took me to the finish line. But in addition to celebrating 15 years, being able to celebrate 15 years cancer free is amazing. And I hope people will contribute to my fundraising page so that I can celebrate on that regard as well. So I want to spend all my money this weekend. That would be fantastic.
So I'm going to jump in because last week when you were talking about 15, 15, 15 and fundraising, I got in the spirit too. So my book about my memoir, My Noisy Cancer Comeback, Running Out the Mouth While Running for My Life. Anyone who buys this at fitzness.com uses code Donna. I'm going to donate 15%.
Oh, nice.
So
thank you, Fitz.
That's very generous of you. Thank you.
Of course. $15 million will likely be raised.
And I can't wait to read it. I truly, it's like top of my pile right here. Can't wait.
Yeah.
While we're still on the topic of fundraising, I have to plug our more than 120 fundraisers that are out there doing amazing work. I know fundraising is not easy, but they all make it fun. And I know that all of us on this call are participating in some way. And that's more than 30 fundraising teams as well. Wow. So, we may not talk every day. We may not see your face all the time, but we wanted to say thank you to the dozens and dozens of people that are out there. We would not be where we're at in the Weaver Challenge without you.
Wow. Awesome job, Chaz.
And thank you, Beth. Thank you, Beth, for that.
Yeah.
For that.
Beth is
just keeping us in business tonight. It's fantastic.
Thank you, Beth.
Very Beth of Beth. She's a very generous human, and she was very moved and had so much fun this weekend. And Chaz, kudos to you for being the king of the fundraising. Well done.
The donors and the supporters make our job so easy. I may be losing my voice a little bit from yelling at the finish line a lot yesterday, but as much as I can say thank you, the gratitude is out there to all the supporters. You make my job pretty easy, and you make me love what I do because we get to help people along the way.
You know who else we love? Right now, we love Kelly Prevette. She makes her own clothes, and she's yay!
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
This is a very productive show we're having.
Thanks, Babs.
No, Chaz is the best. We're grateful to have him.
Thank you all so much. That's very sweet.
So I would like to tell one of my interesting memories from this weekend with Babs. That's Barbara Di Girolamo. But we were at Intuition Friday night with the ambassador group. And I'm telling Babs about my experience running Boston Marathon and why I ran it, blah, blah, blah. It was my first marathon ever. And it was this past October. And I was telling her that I ran the whole way with this guy, Vince, who runs the Boston Buddies Running Club. And she goes, I know Vince. I put the medal on Vince when he crossed the finish line. I said, you did? She goes, yeah. And I was like, I think there was a blonde lady put it on me, but let me look. And I pulled it up. And Babs was the person who gave me my medal in Boston. So we all had big screaming and hooting and hollering. And then so in exchange, I put the medal on Babs this weekend, both races.
Hey, that's fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah, what a small world, right?
We're all connected, man. We're all connected. 6 degrees, all of
So
us.
there were so many universe nods that way this weekend. I mean, so many. We have to talk about Dawn Musalem. Can we please talk about Dr. Musalem, right? For those of you that have not heard her story, the Times Union actually did a beautiful, beautiful piece on her over the weekend, our newspaper here in Jacksonville. But you know, Dawn ran her first marathon on Sunday, exactly 1 year after a heart transplant. And, you know, she is also, you know, a physician in Mayo Clinic's breast clinic. So she's been involved with this organization and with the race for many years and watched from the sidelines for so long, wishing and hoping that she could also run too. So she dedicated, you know, her training cycle to getting there and celebrating her own survivorship through the finish line on Sunday. And so she messaged me at some point and asked me, "Did you mean to give me this bib number?" And I said, what bib number? And her bib number was 365. And she raced exactly a year after her heart transplant. And her bib number on Sunday was 365. Like that. I didn't do that. That's just the good gushy, you know, universe, right?
Crazy.
So, you know, stories like that all the way around all weekend long.
Well,
Amanda, if that doesn't give you chills.
I mean, right?
and
She's so great too. Gosh, what an amazing human she is.
isn't she also a stage 4 cancer survivor? Like 12 years ago, she had, was it lymphoma or leukemia?
She did. Yeah. She and that is why she needed the heart transplant. When she was, I think she was 26 when she was diagnosed with lymphoma, and, you know, a very, very aggressive treatment goes into that. And as a result, her heart was damaged.
Wow.
Yeah. And, you know, she named her heart. I don't know if you know this story. This is another,
the old one.
This is another
Now
amazing.
you're gonna make me cry again.
I know. And you know, she's Catholic, named the heart Grace, and talks to Grace. They have conversations, you know, when she's running. She, you know, how's it going? Are we doing okay there, Grace? You know, and you know, it got tough in the last stretch. You know, she's trying to get to the finish line and needing a bit of inspiration. And we've got some significant construction going on in Jacksonville Beach. You know, crane development. You always like to have cranes in your community, right? Means development. And so there was a fencing that she was running by, and the group that was running with her went, you know, hey, Dawn, look at that. And the name of the construction company or an investor or somebody was on the side of the fence, and it was Grace. Wow. Just that was the name of the company. This giant sign by her that said wow. Grace. And of course they took pictures and that was her last push to getting through to the finish line. It was a beautiful, and her whole team at the breast clinic was there cheering her on at the sidelines. And it was an incredibly beautiful moment that I know a lot of people will remember forever. Yeah. Congratulations, Dawn. You are a marathoner.
Yes.
Wow,
in addition to many other things that are tremendous.
I'm so glad that we did this post-race show because I get to learn about all these amazing things that happened yesterday.
So on the sidebar of amazing, we had a 110-mile ultra marathon, and that was not a relay. That was individuals committing to running 80-something miles on Saturday, and then the final 26.2 on Sunday. And then we had, I think there was a dozen or so registered and only 6 showed up to do it. All but one did not finish. They had the weather and they decided no. And for the first time ever, a female won overall champion of the 110-mile ultra. Not only was she the overall champion, she was literally the only person who went the entire distance. What was her name? It was Dawn, correct?
Dawn, Dawn Lisenby. Yep.
Dawn. Yep.
Yeah.
and she still looked good. She came back. I was like, wow.
She was running for somebody too.
Yeah. So Dawn lost her sister to breast cancer very recently, and so she dedicated obviously that run to her sister, and Dawn is not unfamiliar with ultra distances. She actually is a race director for her own set of races, and has always wanted to come and participate in the Donna 110 for her sister. And when the group started out on Saturday morning, that was going to be rough, right? To deal with those conditions, not only on Sunday, but basically all day and all night on Saturday. And at that point in my mind, it's probably 99% mental, right? I mean, yes, the physical has to be there, but in that kind of thing, I just feel like that's got to be a gazillion times mental. And she had her why. She had such a strong why to do that in memory of her sister that I just knew she was going to finish. I never had a doubt that girl was going to see the finish line on Sunday.
Yeah, she said
I was so happy for her.
Yeah. What I loved too is that picture of her at the finish line holding overall female top finisher, overall male top finisher. She had both of the flags at the finish line.
I had to do that. I mean, I'm looking at the plaques and I'm going, oh yeah, you can have them both.
Yeah, why not, right?
So great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that was really impressive. It's actually rare and it makes sense, but I think in my entire career race announcing hundreds of events, I think maybe I've only seen a woman win the overall prize twice.
Mm-hmm. I do think that women have an interesting advantage in the ultra distances. I mean, I think you do see a good bit of champions, mental. Yes. I also think that our bodies are much more efficient with how we deal with fat reserves.
Okay.
Like we have them. Right. So yeah, I mean, you see a good bit of women champions in the ultra distance. Cool. But I love to see it. It's the first time we started the 110 in 2012. And this will be the first year that Mark Burgett or Dave Krupski didn't take home the W. Mark. Yeah. Well, they didn't participate in the 110, but Mark was one of our marathon pacers on Sunday. He did a fantastic job, and he helped. Chris Twiggs on our team was the course marshal and course or race director really for the 110 over the weekend. And I visited with them on Saturday night. We shared Girl Scout cookies but Mark was there helping out with the 110 as well. And then I believe Dave ran the marathon on Sunday. I don't know that I saw him, but I know he was registered and was planning on it.
Outstanding. Hey, Chaz, are you checking that fundraising thing? Are you refreshing? Have we hit 200,000 yet?
We hit 200,000. I have been so entrenched in our wonderful stories. We hit it. And I just can't thank you all enough. I know those that are on here live right now are playing a big part in this. So if you're one of those donors, thank you very much. We've crossed the 200,000 mark.
Yippee.
We need some of your music, Fitz.
I'm like looking around for what's my cowbell. It's still in my luggage. I will get some cowbell for you at some point. We will celebrate with cowbell. Thrilling. Congratulations.
Walking on sunshine, y'all.
Yeah. It's long, right, Fitz?
That's right. Yeah, we talked at the finish line. So I was told many years ago, I don't remember who or where or why, but I was told that I should pick a theme song. So if my life were a show, what would be my theme song? And I picked Walking on Sunshine, and it works for me. It certainly does. And I thought, what better to work for our video from yesterday. I felt that.
Great.
So, okay. So this is what I want to talk about yesterday. And I don't know what the numbers are. And maybe Amanda, but we had so many breast cancer survivors come through this weekend.
Yeah.
I worked really hard chasing them down. At some point I was like, whoo, they're keeping me on my toes. How many did we have?
That is a great question, and I can have the answer to that question if you give me half a second. And we talk about a few other things, but I can totally do that.
Certainly so important because the race sits within our survivorship education and awareness program, and it's just such a pillar of what we do and why we're here. And seeing the survivors, to your point, cross the finish lines and their families around them. And it's so powerful. And people often forget, yes, we are the race. We will always have, a powerful, powerful presence that way. But it really is us coming together, lacing up, starting out strong and finishing strong, and really, really throwing the hands up. You did a great job having people do that. Throwing their hands up across the finish lines to celebrate survivorship. And we do that in such a way that we've celebrated survivorship with more than 140,000 runners over the years. And now we get to add the numbers Amanda's about to tell us.
So there were 250 breast cancer survivors that admittedly crossed the finish line on Sunday.
That's why I was so tired last night.
Yes.
Yes. I really at some point thought, woo!
And such a variety of stories, you know what I mean? Like with Donna, celebrating 15 years, I heard, a lot of, 15, 20, but also, I know Eden Kendall's friend, had her first chemo treatment on Friday and ran on Sunday.
Yeah. And what about the woman that ran next to me in the last half, like around mile 6, almost to the finish line? She stage 4 breast cancer survivor in constant treatment, still in the middle, of everything. And just ran with such great joy. And I just loved seeing her cross that finish line. It was just such a sense of triumph for her. And I love that. I love that.
I think that was Regine.
Oh, was that who that was?
I'm pretty sure that the in the finish line, we talked about it when she came in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Regine. She's yes, and also a sponsor. Her organization is one of our sponsors with Pivot.
Yep.
Yeah.
So thank you, Regine, and your family and company. Yeah.
It's incredible and really appreciative for me to be able to see all these people so far out. Like, I believe that I'm done. Knock on everything, but to see proof that 7 years and 12 years and 20 exists every single time I see someone so far out, I feel like, okay, I can get there. So them showing up means a lot too. Look at me. I'm it's still fresh, right? But it definitely means a lot to have proof that there's a good chance I'll still be here, right? This is a scary little thing we've all dealt with.
Yeah.
And then to see so many women who are still undergoing treatment. I mean, I'm a tough girl and I'm athletic, and there's no way in the million years I could have done a half marathon during treatment or a full. And to watch them out there being so gritty and adventurous, and it's just mesmerizing.
Yeah. Well, what does Edith say? We're curing people every day.
Yeah, it's true.
It's we still have a good number of miles to run together, but we have come a long way.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that good doctor rang a whole lot of cowbell on Sunday.
She's, what's great about her, and I think really if anybody sets the tone for our survivorship program, it's her. We always called her the doctor of hope, because I don't care what the situation was. When I was diagnosed that 3rd time with the cancer having gone to my lung, and she got it out and gave me chemotherapy, and she said, "We're just going to keep you good. Whatever we have to do, we're just going to keep you good." I mean, there was never any talk of not keeping me good. And I think that to have somebody who's treating you, that knows all the realities, that constantly has hope, not, she gave me the realities of the situation, but constantly is there saying, we're going to find the next thing. We're going to find the next thing. We're going to find the next thing. And I think that's another reason that people love this event, because we are about that. I mean, we call it, I always talk about the fact that, after that 3rd diagnosis, I made a conscious decision to choose love over fear. And I think that's that is the mentality that we try to bring to the race. It's not about so much in our mentality of fighting and beating and constantly being in that fight or flight mode. It's about loving on each other and loving our lives and loving each day and accepting where we are, but knowing that You know, the real joy is in being together and doing stuff for each other. And I just, you feel it. You feel it everywhere out there. You know, I could go on forever about the way this race seems to affect people, but it is such a big part of what we do. It is every bit as important. Yes, it is every bit as important as our financial aid fund is, to be able to infuse people with, as Amanda says, with that love injection that they so desperately often need, you know?
So where do we go from here? You have more events coming this year.
Yeah.
We do. So the 15th annual Donna Marathon Weekend was event number 2 of our Fearless series for this year. Our next event is coming up in May. We're going to be celebrating moms. So a whole lot more of that Donna Dash mentality, love of really, you know, just putting our moms in a place of love. And it is Saturday, May the 7th. It is the Black Knight Mother's Day 5K. It is also a Your Way event. So like all of our events this year, there have been an in-person component, and this one will have a 5K in person in beautiful historic Riverside. So you get to enjoy a whole different part of town in Jacksonville. But there's also a virtual component. And so the Your Way is whatever activity you love to do, Pilates, yoga, cycling, swimming. I get asked every 3 days to put on a triathlon. I'm like, nope. But whatever gets your body moving and get healthy qualifies. So we're excited to put on this event just coming up in May. Yeah, it'll be our last in our Fearless series for this season, and then we'll start. Hey, Og, and then we'll start looking towards next year.
So, and what is next year? Because I want people to know. I want them to put it in their schedule now. We've got Mother's Day, and we have...
Yes. And so we will launch our new Fearless series. Usually we launch things in June. So be looking out for registration to open in June of this year. We'll have another 5K in partnership with the Players Championship. That typically kicks us off sometime in October. Donna Marathon Weekend is indeed set for the first Sunday in February in 2023, which that date, so that I don't get it wrong, I'm going to actually look at it, is February the 5th, 2023. That's a Sunday. So we're going to be the 3rd through the 5th of the weekend. So put that in Sharpie pen, much like Fitz is going to put it in Sharpie pen on her calendar. Plan for it. If you missed this year, or if you didn't, come back. We're gonna have a great time, and then we'll have a Mother's Day event again in 23 as well.
Yeah, and that's actually a great plan for Mother's Day, because sometimes we're like, oh, what are we gonna do for Mother's Day? Let's go eat. Yeah, you can eat. Like, we'll do something. Have some quality time. Have some athletic adventure. And if Mom says, I can't, tell her she's lying. Say, Mom, you've always told me to be brave and to try new things, and you can totally walk, saunter, strut,
absolutely,
go as slow as you want, hold hands, have flowers for her at the finish line, and then go to brunch.
That's right.
And one more thing. One more thing about that, we will have fundraising open. We'll have sponsorships open. I wouldn't be doing my job if I wouldn't be saying how people can support us in addition to lacing up with us.
And is registration for that event open right now, the Mother's Day event?
Yes.
Okay.
It certainly is.
And then when does registration open up for 2023, the marathon?
Traditionally, we open in June, July. So we'll let you guys know. We're going to debrief and make sure that we don't want to make some adjustments before we open some registration. And to that end, please be looking for a survey to come out from us, probably sometime next week. Give us your feedback. We'd like to know everything that you thought about the new venue and the new events of the weekend, and what you think we can improve and do better. We only get better because we know what we need to make better, and I think that's really what we're all about every year. Is okay, that needs to be better and make it better. Nothing's ever perfect in our eyes, always striving to tweak and make it better.
So two things. Lorraine's streaking again. I want to give a huge shout out to all the streakers. Your legacy program is fantastic, and they were so enthusiastic and so happy to be a part of your race family. How many streakers do you have?
I believe it's 114.
It's awesome. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, and we did take a group photo on Saturday. I found it today in the gazillion billion photos that I sorted through today. So we'll definitely get that shared out there ASAP. That was fun.
And then the second thing I wanted to share is that I love the rainbow design on everything. I thought it was so pretty.
It was.
But I'm a girl, and we're all, well, and rainbow is really pretty, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, Big Run Media, you know, they support us from a creative perspective. You know, that was Thomas and Megan Newberger are the principals there, and Thomas did much of the creative work on the shirts and the color palettes and a lot of the rainbow that you saw. He was cool. One of our volunteers said, some guy came up and asked us for a shirt. I know we're not supposed to give him one if he's not registered, but he said he designed it, so we gave him one. I'm like, that's cool. That's fine. You can do that. You can do that. And how about Megan, right? Let's gotta give a shout out to Megan and our champions this year. I mean, you know, this was her 5th marathon win here at the Donna. 5.
Awesome.
That's crazy.
5. It's crazy.
You've got, let's see, the pendants. There's streaker pendants. Was that the running pink ribbon I saw? Those pendants? Is that the streaker pendant?
So we do charms. Every year there's a different design, and so, you know, many runners have necklaces with all the charms, or they have like a charm bracelet with all the charms. But yeah, we give all of our streakers a special charm every year.
This year it had a palm tree on it, a running ribbon and a palm tree.
Very cute, very cute. So I have a question. So people who didn't run the first year cannot be a streaker.
Correct.
Do you have some sort of updated loyalty programs for people that have run X amount of years at this point, or want to commit to running X amount at this point?
I think that's a great idea. We don't, you know, passing through our 15th year.
Yeah,
that's a great thing to start thinking about. Yeah, I think our monthly giving society right now is sort of that next program of the folks that we want to perk, so to speak, those that are supporting families, you know, every single month and help us do our work. But no, I love that idea.
Yeah, I bet you have some people that jumped in 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and
yeah,
you know, I don't know. I see it. I like those loyalty programs. They're beneficial for everybody.
Indeed.
Donna, is there anything else you'd like to add before we go out?
Gosh, I just want to thank everybody so much. I always say this, and it seems to me that I always feel like I'm completely squeezed out of emotion by the end of this weekend, and it always surprises me how quickly the tears come when I start to see Friday. You know, we had the social shakeout, and I immediately saw people and started to cry. It's with immense gratitude that we put this event on, and again, I want to thank you, Fitz, Amanda. You're just the most amazing steward of our foundation and director we could ever possibly imagine. And Chaz, you know, I love you so much. You have helped us tremendously to get to a great place. And I just I want to thank everybody for making it possible. We want to keep doing this until it's not necessary, and then hopefully we can just run for fun.
About that. Thank you all for being a part of this show. This is your show. I'm happy to host it. Thanks to everyone who came out with smiling faces. It certainly makes it's obnoxious to call what I do a job. So I don't want to say my job, my profession, my privilege. Everyone was so darn happy. I mean, it was like the easiest crowd to work with ever. And they were hugging each other, and I got a million hugs, and even the spectators were hugging each other and dancing, lots of dancing. Everyone was top notch on the booty shaking. Did you see Jeff Galloway?
Oh my God, that was so funny.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Really good stuff. But yeah, we had an incredible time, and that's because you guys breed joy, and you breed people that work hard and seek out wonderfulness. So I want to thank everyone. And I think we should leave and watch that video again. What do you think?
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
do it.
One more
Great
time.
idea.
All right. Let's tell everyone we love them.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And y'all
Appreciate
can
you
keep
all.
these comments coming for sure, because we'll keep coming back and looking at them. Love you all.
Thanks, Fitz.